All the townspeople have joined in preparing for the festival. Neighbors are happily chatting with each other and laughing at jokes. The baker is preparing her stall with freshly made bread and cakes, some of them in imaginative shapes and colors. On the other side of the road, someone is busy hanging more homemade paper lanterns on his roof. Not all the decorations look expensive or professional, as they are made of whatever the creator had on hand, but the streets already look festive and happy. I feel myself sneaking a smile when looking at how hard their work is paying off. And I didn't even do anything. That's not true. Before I knew it, Erin has woke up beside me and is watching the preparations. It's because of you, guys, that we are doing this in the first place, remember? We could have ended up in serious trouble if those soldiers had found our home. I wonder, we may have stopped the immediate disaster, but what will happen when Simon and I return home? Will we be able to avoid having even more soldiers coming up here after the incident? I'm not even sure this place is safe at present. So, who are bringing the dance? Henry smiled mischievously. What? Is that your answer to every question? Why would I bring anyone? She stares me in the face. Her expression has changed to that of annoyance and disappointment. Are you serious? You're not going together with anyone? I was certain you would go with Simon. I take myself not to get any ideas from her question, and yet I can't help but blushing faintly. Of course not, I wouldn't dance with him, he's my superior officer. I'm amazed, I didn't think you were that stubborn. You two definitely look like you were closer than that. No, they are not. I sigh, this conversation is turning bad. What about Tobias? You should know each other well by now. By no. Or maybe that guy Gavin? That guy, I feel a little sorry for Gavin. It seems the two of them are getting along well, and Tobias is only trouble. No way, I don't remember you mentioning having a partner either. Why don't you ask Gavin? He seems to like you as well. Well, I have my stall to take care of. No time for that for me. I have to do it since my sister is taking part in the dance. I don't have to go with anyone, really. Really? She looks dissatisfied by my answer and watches me closely. I can almost see in her eyes how she imagines all sorts of cuttings with me. Come on. Then her expression suddenly changes again. Have you ever attended a festival before? I bet they have many of them in the big cities. Yeah. Well, not really. I have seen them while on guard duty. I was escorting one of the guests. Escort? Must have been someone terribly important, huh? Well, putting that aside, that means this will be your first festival after all. Did that just make her even happier? I can't help but sigh at her enthusiasm. Then I will have to do it. Do what? Do what? I'll take you. I'll show you how to have fun. Maybe I can even find someone to hook me up with along the way. Didn't you have a stand to take care of? Oh, you're right. Now it's her turn to sigh in disappointment. What a shame. I wish I could ask Mary to do it, but she already has a date. I really wanted to do it too. Do what? Have a date or show me around? This girl gives me a headache sometimes. I don't even think I would have the energy to follow her around during the festival. It sounds like a battle on its own. Oh, remember to stop by the inn right before night break. I have something for you. I can imagine what that something is, and her command makes me feel uneasy, but Erin has already left me behind, waving back at me as she hurries to the inn. Only a few hours left, huh? Night is falling. Holy crap! That looks awesome. Even though the last rise of the summer suns are still lighting the sky from the other side of the mountain. Some of the paper lanterns are already being lit as the festive spirit spreads through the town in its first real festival since they settled here. Inviting aromas are spreading from the food stalls, and kids are running through the main street, waving their colorful paper models. Somewhere further down, I even hear some of the townspeople warming up their instruments. It's that kind of moment where you will just slowly wander down the street, taking in the view and savor the atmosphere. A buyout? I'm not that lucky. Lena, over here! Erin is calling me from the entrance to her inn. I take a deep sigh and approach her. She takes me inside, where I see her sister looking over details of the snacks prepared for the party. The plates are lined up on the long dinner table by the bar desk. Oh, hello, Lena! Are you about to get ready for tonight? Well, don't worry, we're going to look just wonderful. The dress, so she's into it as well. Mary, help me finish the dress. She's much better at sewing than me. That's not true. You've made great progress, Erin. Yeah. Well, she will say something nice no matter what. Come on, Lena, it's up there, up here. Oh. Erin guides me up the stairs and into a small room next to the one where Simon sleeps. I sneak a look at his door and is suddenly embarrassed by the thought that he could be aware of what Erin and her sister have been doing here. Maybe he even saw the dress. Please, let that not be the case. I mutter this under my breath, almost like a small prayer. How come that thought alone is so much scarier than taking on 20 enemy soldiers single-handed? I interact in the small chamber and Erin closes the door behind us. There it is, what do you think? The dress is draped over a hanger, illuminated by the last rays of sunlight coming through the window. I stare at the unfamiliar sight. The situation is too alien to me. I can't wear that. Unable to say anything, I just stand there, desperately trying to find an excuse for leaving the dress behind. At the same time, I'm afraid of hurting Erin, who put so much work into this. Come on, try it on. I'm pretty sure it fits. You look great. There is nothing I can do. This battle was already lost from the start. When we leave the inn, it has already grown much darker than when we first entered. Even more lanterns are lit, and the main street is even livelier. Really, it looks great. It would be cool to live in such a place. The table set up outside the inn is already occupied by a few of the townspeople, and Erin's sister is busy bringing all the food and snacks to her stall. Oh my, you really are quite a sight, Lena. Thank you. Well, you did a good job on the dress. Don't give us all the credit. Half the beauty of a dress is dependent on the one who carries it. Well, I better not leave the customers for too long. You both have fun. We will. I'll be back to switch places with you later. Don't worry too much about it, Mary. I'll be fine. Just take the time you need. Mary smiles thankfully at her sister and we leave the inn behind. Erin quickly turns to take orders from the customers. Simon and Tobias are standing by another stall close by, observing the happy townspeople passing them by on the street. The stall behind them is selling small, colorful paper fans and meals. What an unusual sight. Simon smiles as we approach them. She looks lovely, doesn't she? I'm sure she'll be popular tonight. I decide to ignore Mary's chatter and act like nothing. Having Simon see me like this is so awkward. So, having fun? It don't look very lovely. Everyone has been working hard. I guess. Tobias looks away in a displeased manner. He looks uncomfortable in the middle of all this excitement. You don't sound very excited. I still think this is an unnecessary waste of time and resources. Oh, you think? Holding a party when this place is no safer than it was before, people acting like our problems aren't there anymore. Mary just smiles warmly at Tobias and she listens to his complaints. Is that so bad? Having fun for just one night, pretending for just a little while that everything will be alright. I'm sure that Chief wouldn't have objected against something so beautiful. It is true that people need a break from time to time, where they can forget their problems. That is a good thing. Tobias doesn't answer but still looks annoyed, but he's here. That alone I take as sign that he can't be completely against this after all. See, forget all that for tonight that I have fun. My date hasn't arrived yet, so why don't you accompany me for the first dance? What? I don't know, I'm not interested. Come on, it will be fun. Her face lights up like a gentle warm sun as she takes Tobias by the arm. She seems so perfect. Tobias is dragged along helplessly and I can't help but smile a little. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Simon looking after them as well, his expression distant and serious as if something is bothering him. Sir? Is something wrong? He looks up and smiles. How unreal to hear you address me in such a way when looking like that. My cheeks heat up in embarrassment and I look away. Don't say that. I'm afraid you won't be able to look at me the same anymore. Yeah, I'm afraid as well. So as well. Is he joking? I wish he would stop that and let us talk like we always do. This is awkward. But no, it's nothing. Don't worry about me. If you say so. There is a pause where none of us say anything. I look around and spot Erin by the tables, lined up outside the inn. She's serving some of the townspeople sitting there. When she notes me, she stretches out her arm and waves gingerly. What is it? Ah, it's Erin. We walk to the table just as Erin is on her way back from serving the customers. Hello Lena, Simon! Oh, that dress really does look good on you. It's perfect for this occasion. She would stop pointing it out, especially when Simon's here. I try to change the topic. How is business tonight? Can you hold it on roll? It's going pretty well. People are enjoying the food so far. I'm afraid we will run out soon without Marifel. Erin glances toward the sound of the band. I follow her gaze and catch a glimpse of Mary dancing with her date. They look like they're having fun. Do you want to dance with someone too? Do you want to dance with someone too? Huh? Oh, not at all. She waves her hand in denial at my question. Well, I better get back to her. What about you two? Want to taste our menu? She makes a gesture towards the table where several customers are already seated, talking and listening to the music. Oh, sorry, maybe later. Simon scratches his chin apologetically. Don't hold yourself back though, excuse me. I guess he still feels uncomfortable minding too much with the inhabitants here. He makes a short bow and turns around to leave. His last courteous smile is directed at me, and I can't help but quickly look away, once again, self-conscious about how I look tonight. That's when I notice the stares from several other male guests around us. Oh shoot, I really don't feel like dealing with this tonight. I wouldn't even know how to properly turn them down. And then I noticed something else. It's only for a moment, but I think I saw Tobias on the other side of the street, disappearing into an alley on his own. Helper. Okay, I don't care about Simon. I don't know, but I don't like him. I would love to help Erin, but because we are playing as a female character, let's follow Tobias. Where's he going? Mary must have let him go, maybe because she met the one she was waiting for. He sees this as an excuse to escape an uncomfortable situation. I decide to follow him. When I reach the alley, he's already gone. On the other side is the open land leading up towards the forest. There is a shadow of movement among the trees. Was it him? And continue up the hill in between the trees. The sounds from the festival in town decreases to a low murmur, and soon it is almost completely inaudible as the sounds of the dark forest descends on me. Like everything else, the forest seems so different at night. Somewhere nearby the sounds of chirping might time the insect, and further away a howling owl, and yet there is no sense of danger. It's a peaceful night. Soon I see him. Tobias is sitting on the trunk of a broken, turned-over tree, staring into the dark between the foliage. A few fireflies are flitting above here, giving off a cool greenish glow. I haven't seen that kind of firefly before. Maybe they're another part of this mountain's special inhabitants. As Tobias hears me approach, he turns his head and stares at me with a shocked expression. Obviously he didn't expect to run into anyone here. Lena? So this is where you were. What are you doing all the way out here? I joined him while watching the slow dance of the fireflies. I just like it better here. I see. Silence. It's not like the two of us have ever been good at leading conversations, but there's something extra awkward when the air between us tonight. I remember the day of the mission and the way we parted ways after returning to the village. That day, I hadn't thought much about what I said to him, but what had happened. It really bothered him, didn't it? I glanced sideways at his face. He ignores me as usual, just watching the floating lights with a distant, brooding expression. You didn't kill anyone. What? That day when you fired your arrow towards the soldier who attacked me, you didn't kill her, I did. Oh, that. How am I supposed to respond to that? I sigh and consider giving up, but then he speaks up again. My older brother. He was a soldier. He says this while lazily reaching out towards one of the fireflies that have drifted close. It was 3 years ago. He left us, saying he would protect our family and do the right thing. I still remember his smiles as he told me to leave it to him, that he would make sure things were over before I had to go as well. But then, the year after he was killed, I heard about the battle later. It was a stupid fight over some area that didn't matter in the long run. That place was already lost, but I insisted that every last soldier stay behind and find enemy. Knitting his brows in annoyance, he waves his hand and shoos the insect away. It was pointless. There was another draft after that, and I was expected to join the army myself. My parents wanted me to as well, expecting me to go out there and be a hero like my brother had been, so I ran away. I'm sorry. Don't be, you're not the one who killed him, or among those who left behind. But left him behind. But what about your parents? Will they be alright? Of course they will. They live deep in the mainland, far away from the fighting at the border. Nothing is being protected apart from their own stupid sense of honor. I guess that explains why you hate us soldiers so much. I just dislike your attitude, acting like you're doing it all for a greater cause, when in the end you end up missing what is really important. In this case, it would have been for his brother to stay alive. I fall silent and think about what Tobias has told me. Stories like this are not uncommon. That's just how it is. A reason like that could never satisfy those it's happening to. So you came here? I ran for the forests, not knowing exactly where to go. After a while of mindless wandering about it, Chief found me there on his travels and brought me with him to this new town of his. So in the end, Tobias is a deserter. At least he will be in the eyes of Tanpa's military. Do you regret it? Not being able to turn back, I mean? There's no reason to. My parents didn't care, and my brother is gone. There's as much of a home as any, and one I'm far more willing to fight for, but he knits his eyebrows again, looking troubled as he remembers his attempt at fighting for this town. I guess your brother ran into some pretty bad luck. Bad luck? What do you know about that? Who's just an ordinary soldier? You high and mighty Templars would never have been abandoned that way, and your lives would never be risked in order to save someone like him. Do you really hate me that much? What? Even though his temper was just flaring, it looks like this question brought him out of balance. I look up between the dark branches of the trees above a few patches of the starry summer sky is still visible. You'll never be able to accept me for what I am, will you? A Templar, a knight that in the end wasn't there when she was needed. By you, by your brother. But that's alright. I never expected you to. This place is so different from what I come from everything I thought I knew, and just like you, I don't want it to disappear. That is all I know right now in my heart, and that is why I fight. It was probably the same with your brother. So it's fine if you don't want to fight our fight and risk hurting and killing other people. Let us do our job and dirty our hands in your stead. There you go again. What? Like before, leave it to us, stand aside if you can't take it. That's not what I meant. Don't you understand? I don't want others to fight for me anymore. I don't want to leave it to others. You remember, don't you? You almost died because I couldn't do anything. He's shivering with anger, and for a moment I don't know what to say. In the end, I ultimately tried to smile and brush it off with a small joke. But then I would have been out of the way, wouldn't I?